When things are falling apart, when you feel things are falling apart, it's all going to be okay. Building your storm cellar before the storm, and is it all going to be okay? Hello y'all, I'm Dianna Brianne. I don't give advice, suggestions, information, recommendations. I just share with you my perspective on different topics, as is with this one. Well, when I first started talking about storms about 2 weeks ago, I never dreamed that it would be a literal hurricane going to hit one of the shores. I never dreamed that. And yet I started talking about storms 2 weeks ago. Well, you can take it figuratively or literally. But today I'm going to talk about being at peace and being calm in the storm and building your own storm cellar, whether it's figuratively or literally. And so, I believe that there are storms in life, and I believe that we're seeing a lot of storms in the world. And I believe that we are in the storm. I believe that just because we see a beautiful day out today doesn't mean that there's not a storm out there somewhere taking place. And so if we feel that a storm is coming, it's wise to build a storm cellar, so to speak. And so I was thinking about the Wizard of Oz and how Dorothy was too late getting back to the storm cellar. And the wind kind of picked her up and threw her against the wall or something, and she ended up in the land of Oz. Well, even though that's a made up, make-believe story, she was too late getting back to the storm cellar. But if you think about it, they were prepared. They had a storm cellar. They did not begin to build the storm cellar when the storm came. They had that storm cellar in place because they knew at some point the storms would come. And so whether we're talking figuratively, literally, whether we're talking a real storm cellar, or we're talking an emotional storm cellar, or we're talking any other kind of storm cellar, I think it's wise, if we see something coming or we think something's going to come, is to be prepared in the very best way that we can. Now, can we stop a storm from coming? No, I don't think we can stop a storm from coming. At least I don't know of anyone that can stop a storm from coming. And can we get out of the way of the storm? Sometimes we can, but sometimes we can't. And if we can't get out of the storm, then having a storm cellar is a wise thing to do. Whether it's a storm cellar literally, so to speak, or whether it's figuratively, emotionally, spiritually, or otherwise. It's, in other words, we're being prepared for what is to come. And so I believe in building the storm cellar when the weather's good, not when the weather suddenly gets bad, because then you don't have time. People start scurrying around trying to build a storm cellar, so to speak. But yesterday I got this conflicting message. Yesterday in the afternoon, I had this message that everything is going to be okay. And I thought, well, with all the stuff that's going on in the world, how can everything be okay? And so I didn't put out that message, everything is going to be okay, because, well, if I put that message out, I believe that I didn't really know exactly what that meant. And now what I believe that message means is that it doesn't mean that the storm is going to go away. It doesn't mean that the storm is not going to come. It means that we will make it through the storm. And now I understand it. Be at peace, be calm, you will make it through the storm. It could be any kind of storm in life, okay? It really could be. You will make it through the storm. Build your storm cellar beforehand, whatever it is. People who are prepared financially for that rainy day, as Grandma would say, are often a lot better than people who are not prepared for that rainy day. If perhaps they lose their job, or perhaps if something happens and they need extra money for something, they're prepared for that rainy day. People who are not prepared for that rainy day are running around trying to figure out what to do. Okay, so you prepare when you don't need to prepare. Now, people may laugh at you. People may say, oh, what are you doing? You're so crazy. You're preparing stuff when you don't need to prepare. Why are you doing that? You know, like I said in another video, they laughed at Noah too, didn't they? They laughed at Noah. You know, I talked a lot about a lot of different things, and I never know what I'm going to talk about. And like I said, I don't give advice or suggestions. I just share with you my perspective. You know, I think one of the reasons people are so conflicted about a lot of things right now is because there's a lot of misinformation. There's a lot of lies. There's a lot of deceit out there. There's truth out there too. Remember, truth and lies often walk next to each other. And often the best liar is one who gives you truth as well, because then this truth brings you into believing them and believing their lies. And I think a lot of people, smarter people, are questioning a lot of things. And because they question, they don't know what to believe. They don't know, you know, and that can be a problem, because if they're told some truth, they're not believing the truth, okay? Because there's been so many lies and so much misinformation. And so, you know, don't fault the person who may not agree with you, because sometimes what happens is that person just doesn't trust the information that they're getting. And like I said, that information could be true, it could be accurate, but because there's been so many lies attached to it, they don't know what to believe. And so sometimes we don't know what to believe, and we have to make the very, very best decisions that we can make, trusting God that even if our decision is the wrong one and we had the best intent, that God will cover for us. I believe that. And so I try to make right decisions, praying that I'm making the right one. And sometimes we don't know until after we've made it. Sometimes sometime after, we don't know whether we've made the right decision or not. But I believe it's always the right decision to have faith in God, that God will get us through the storms of life, whether they're literal storms or figurative storms. But that doesn't mean that we don't prepare. That doesn't mean that we are not wise in our choices and decisions, because we need to be wise in our choices and decisions. It's just that we need to also keep our faith, because sometimes a storm, a hurricane, is bigger than we are. So we have to prepare. We have to get out of its way if we can. And yet, if we can't get out of its way, we have a storm cellar. Okay, we have some place to go, some place for protection, so to speak. You know, today I was out on the running trail, and it's a very calm running trail, and it's by a road, you know, a little bit of a distance from the road, but it's by the road close enough. You can see the cars go by, and it's usually very calm, and especially on a day like today. And I was running, and all of a sudden this noisy, loud, rude car comes down the road, messed up looking car, playing extraordinarily loud music and obnoxious music, in my opinion. And it was really non-harmonious. And I thought, here I'm out here on this beautiful day, and here comes someone with this obnoxious, loud music. And it was almost as if they were looking for someone to pick a fight with. And his grandma would say, walk the other way, walk the other way. Well, of course, he wasn't close enough to me in any way, but it was as if he was going down the road looking for someone to say, hey, turn that music off. That's a bunch of garbage. It was as if he was provoking. Okay. And I thought about that, and I thought we really have to keep our cool in life. And people who create havoc, we have to do our best at avoiding them and not interacting with them, because that's often what they want. So if you feel things are falling apart, remember, God is in control. God is in control. We may think it's just man that has control, or that we have to make some kind of decision. And often we need to make decisions. But when it's something as big as a hurricane, we can't stop that from coming. All we can do is make the right decisions to the best of our ability. And remember, ultimately, it's God in control, not us. okay? And so we need to be at calm, we need to be at peace, we need to build our storm cellars in life, whether it's your financial storm cellar, taking care of your health storm cellar, whether it's your spiritual storm cellar, whether it's your emotional storm cellar, whether it's your relationship storm cellar, whether it's your food storm cellar. You know, like Grandma always had a food cellar. You know, I've been talking a lot about that. And so, you know, it's all going to be okay. I believe in trusting in God, making great decisions to the best of our ability, and knowing that if we do make a mistake in our decisions, that God will cover for our decisions. I know I hear a lot of people saying they made a mistake, or they're afraid they're going to make a mistake. And I believe that we do the very, very best at being informed with right information. Remember, there's a lot of deceitful information out there. Make the right decision with right information. And remember, just because everybody is going in one direction doesn't necessarily mean it's the right direction. I talked about the little boat out in the water, and how this boat was out there in the water, and everybody kept rowing outward instead of closer to shore. And the one person kept saying, but the shore is that way, the shore is that way. And everyone laughed at him in the boat. And here they all got lost at sea. They all went out in the wrong direction. So remember, make sure that you are in the right direction. If everyone's going in a direction and it's the right direction, then go in it. But if it's the wrong direction, if you truly feel it's the wrong direction and you know it's the wrong direction, I believe in not following others in the wrong direction. I believe in finding the right direction. And sometimes that can take time. Sometimes we don't always know all the answers up front. I got that. I don't always know all the answers up front. And so just remember, be at peace. It's all going to be okay. We may go through storms. And like I said, I didn't know it was going to be a great big hurricane coming. I didn't know that. And, you know, but be at peace. Be at peace, knowing that God is ultimately in control. And that's my message, is that no matter what storm of any kind in life, remember, even though the world is in its own storm, huge storms right now, there's also personal storms. People are going through personal struggles, personal storms. And keep your eye on your faith, on God, knowing that God will get you through this, and that make great decisions, okay? From my house to yours, may God bless you, and I hope to talk to you soon again. And I do hope you like, share, subscribe to all 5 channels. Links are pinned at the top of the comment section below. Okay? Hope to talk to you then. Bye-bye. Porch, a place to relax.